back. I know we haven't been here in 2 years. It's a tough time. Mattel actually has its major retail show this week, so getting us out here was a little tough. We wanted to be out here. We're so glad. Wow. I mean, there are no fans like He-Man fans. I will tell you that. Right? And She-Ra. Yeah, right. The most amazing, passionate fans. We have a really cool panel for you. Hopefully, we'll leave a lot of time for Q&A. Due to the He-Man convention PowerCon that was a few weeks ago, we don't have as much to reveal because we revealed so many figures. In fact, the figures we're going to reveal today were literally finished yesterday. Wow. Right on their desk. So I saw them for the first time when Eric brought them to the booth. So you're literally world premiere right here. Yeah, don't touch them. My name is Scott Knightlick, aka Toy Guru on the boards. Yeah. I have the esteemed pleasure of being the brand manager for Masters of the Universe. Huge passion project of mine. I'm thrilled that I cannot believe we're almost up to 100 figures in the Classics line. It's crazy. This is going to be the largest, biggest Masters of the Universe line ever. We're going to overtake every line. They've already overtaken vintage. Anyone know how many vintage figures there were in the 82 line? More than all the hands. More than his hands, all right. Why don't we introduce ourselves?
I'm Chris. I'm Eric. We're both from Four Horsemen.
I'm Randy. I'm a copywriter at Mattel.
Mary works on the Master's line. She helps works on the bios, worked on the Wind Rider packaging. There's a lot of writing that goes down on the line. All right. Why don't we jump into the panel, and then we'll hopefully do an extensive Q&A. I'm going to go through the first slides relatively quickly. It's going to be a little bit of a repeat of what we did at PowerCon, just simply because so much was revealed there. But I'll try to get to that stuff quicker to get to the new stuff. All right, we're in New York. So first up, wrapping up 2011, of course, we have the final DCU versus MOTU 2-packs. So these are in stores now, or at least we've shipped them to Toys R Us. Whether they put them on shelf is up to them. It pairs figures from DC versus Masters. We've got the Green Lantern versus Zodak pack and the Supergirl versus She-Ra. You guys, anyone found them yet? Yep. No? All right.
That's where they hide them.
They hide them?
Zoom in.
Well, they're still shipping, so they are coming out. They may wind up going over to 2012. All right, so October, meaning Monday, on sale is a Carius. It's sitting in our booth. It was all in red and a jackpack. And there's the Galactic Protectors logo that was created for him. And of course, as we answered it back in San Diego with the whole, is he a Carius or Flipshot? The original character was Flipshot. It was, but he was also known as a Carius in Europe. When we looked at the original style guide, he actually was called a Carius. We found out they changed his name because Flipshot didn't translate as well, and it sounded more toyetic. So we went with that name, and also because Nerf owns Flipshot. In November, we'll be Snout Spout. I think someone pointed out, I think on He-Man.org, that the accessory is shaped like an elephant. I did not realize that. I was playing at my desk for like 2 months, and I never noticed that his jaws of life is actually kind of an elephant shape. That was really cool. CB did that, right? Yeah. Also in November, for subscribers only, if you remember the club, you will get a sticker sheet. So hopefully that'll let you sticker some of the missed figures that didn't have stickers, as well as you could draft characters into different alliances if you want. Stick a Princess of Power sticker on He-Man if you want. Make Hordak a Snake Man. All right. In November, not part of the club, is the 2.0 She-Ra, Bubble Power She-Ra. Yeah. So I think most of you probably know she can be reconfigured with the original She-Ra's head and cape, and the armor is removable. So you can have a Filmation She-Ra, you can have a classic toy tiara She-Ra. The idea is you can make any She-Ra you want now with new body parts. Peter, do you want to talk about the new bucket at all?
Yeah, what we basically did with this guy, or girl, figure actually, I guess. There have been a lot of suggestions ever since the first She-Ra was released. just certain things, like the original plan with her was that the dress was going to be made a soft enough material, and all the female figures for that matter, where they were going to get a full waist spin and ab crunch type movement. In the end, it didn't work out. The paint wouldn't stick to that soft of a material, and just a number of issues came up with it. And so for the longest time, we've been waiting to come back and create a new female buck where we can correct some of these issues. So this is the first figure that has the two-piece tunic, so it's full waist articulation. This figure in particular, she has slits in the dress and a more flared skirt so that she can ride Swiftwind. The figure's slightly shorter, because that was something that a lot of fans were asking for, was the figure be a little bit shorter. And then this one also has the more toy-style detail on the boots and the gauntlets. So, you know, a lot of fans have been asking for more toy details on the Princess of Power figures, while others wanted more filmation, and this was a nice chance that we're able to do both. So, really just trying to, oh, and also this one has the head without the tiara, with no hole in the head. So we were very happy to go back and
which was not a
fix that.
slant against females. It was an aesthetic to get it.
Well, we thought we were doing the right thing and making it so the mask could be displayed in multiple positions. We were wrong. And so, you know, luckily we had a chance here to come back and fix that mistake. So, you know, we were very happy to get this one out, and then, you know, from here on out, the female figures will be able to incorporate this new buck system. So we're very excited about it.
Starting with the Star Sisters.
Yes.
Evil Lynn will still be the new Evil Lynn still uses the old buck.
Yes.
Yeah, because we tooled her. Okay. All right. Speaking of Swifty, so there's Swiftwind, also shipped to the same issue. So you can see there, the She-Ra riding Swiftwind is the Bubble Power She-Ra with the original Filmation head and cape. So you can see how well you can see it on the booth like that too. All right, in December is Demo Man.
Yeah.
Based on the original Mattel. Has anyone noticed that we posed the figure in the booth exactly in that pose? Yes.
Yeah.
Spent like a lot of time trying to do that. It wasn't easy. Kept falling over. And he comes with the Alcala Skeletor head, and Skeletor will go on sale the same day. So if you want to buy another Skeletor to get the Skeletor body, you can buy an extra Skeletor, or pick them up from a dealer here at the shop.
Oh, nice.
Skeletor.
Scalpel.
All right, there's Battleground Evil Lynn. We moved to December to help you guys out. She'll come with the two heads, the cape, and two different wand attachments. Glow-in-the-dark one and a purple one, and the knife. She'll have the knife in purple. Also in December is the Wind Raider. Everything you see here, with the stand, it rotates 360, it goes up and down. It's amazing, and all of the details inside the cockpit are all sculpted in. They're not stickers. So I know that's something you really wanted to do.
Yeah, the same thing with the details on the outside that were stickers on the original. Everything is dimensionally fabricated into the piece, and then has the full paint job with the fades and all of that. So it's really cool. So, you know, 10 years through stickers are peeling off of this.
And the fuel tanks have a pop-up little like maintenance hatch on both sides. So Man-at-Arms can fix them.
And the winch works.
Oh, the winch, yes. It has the first action feature as a projectile. The hook. The hook. Shoots.
Anchor?
Anchor. The thing on the front. It shoots. It's tied to a string, and then you can wind it back up again. All right. And there's the packaging. That's the art that's on the package. Art by the original artist of the packaging, Rudy did the art, so that was really cool. I'm sure eventually we'll issue it as a poster, but at least not for another year or so. All right, 2012, which is the 30th anniversary. Some general updates. We did have that new 30th anniversary series, which we did offer as a sub. The sub is closed, but you can still buy them day of. The figures, when they're sold day of, if you didn't get them in the sub, there will be a slight price increase. It'll probably be, instead of 20, either $22 or $23 a figure. We're trying to keep it as low as possible. Essentially, it's a little hard to keep 2008 prices still. It's 2012 now. So we sort of skipped over two mandatory Mattel price increases in the last few years, and it's going to come time that we in order to keep up with Chinese labor, those costs. The subscription, so if you ordered in the sub, you are locked into that $20 a figure. We are looking into ways of combining day of purchases with sub purchases. So if you have a sub and you want to add extra figures, whether it's a MOTU figure or a Ghostbusters or a Voltron or anything, ideally if we get the set, you'll be able to add subscribers will be able to add anything they want into their basket to save on shipping. As well as we know international customers have asked us for ways of not combining shipping. So we're going to try to offer everything possible under the sun here. And in general, we are very, very committed to improving shipping and customer service. We know about the issues with Digital River. We know about the issues with customer service and shipping prices. Our commitment is to find ways to bring shipping costs down and improve customer service in the next 6 months. It's our #1 goal with this. We hear you. We're working on it, I promise. Top men are on this, and women. All right, so stay tuned for more details on that. All right, the reminder of the club rollout, there'll be 12 monthly figures, 4 quarterly variants, i.e. a Battle Armor He-Man, 4 oversized and or multi-packs, 1 at 30, 2 at 40, 1 at 60. The Star Sisters are the $60 slot, the Griffin is the $30 slot. So if you've done your math, that means there's 2 $40 slots left for the year. 1 club exclusive figure, which is Shadow Weaver, 1 exclusive map. The club does not include convention items, potential vehicles, potential weapon packs, other standalone items, and the 30th anniversary figures. And the reason for that, a lot of people ask why everything can't be in the sub, is essentially legally we have to be upfront with everything that's included in the sub and the prices, which is what we just did. We want to have the freedom to grow the brand. We want to be able to try new things out, like Granomir and the Wind Raider. That's why not everything is included in the sub, because we originally thought the Wind Raider was going to be $40. It turned out after we painted it and tooled it, it was going to need to be $45. That's why it couldn't be in the sub. We need that creative freedom in order to deliver more stuff to you guys. So that's sort of the rationale there. The 30th Anniversary Club. So we announced at Comic-Con, this is 6 all-new Masters of the Universe figures. Brand new characters created just for this line. 1 every other month throughout 2012. They will be available as an add-on sub or day of sales. The sub is now closed, so day of sales only if you didn't buy the sub. The day of sales will also be higher, either $22 or $23. We'll lock that down probably in about the next 30 days. Subscribers, though, are locked into that $20 per figure 2008 price. Fearless Photog is the first one. And then we have Drago Man from the 4 Horsemen. There'll be a figure that Jeff Johns will be creating from DC Comics. And there will be 2 figures that Mattel will create. And then the final one will be the new 30th anniversary winner. We'll get into that at the end if you haven't heard about our new contest, which is amazing. All right, January, we've got the Sorceress. Long time coming. I know we killed her in the bios before she came out, but she'll always be around. So the wing articulation, it is attached just at the shoulder, so just full arm articulation. Terry Iguchi, who's our designer, the Horseman sculpted, but it's Terry who has to take their sculpt and turn it into a working toy, which is not as easy as it sounds. But he found an amazing way to get the wings so when you raise her arms up manually, the wings sort of just kind of magically fold out. So it's really, really nice. It's just full articulation there. There won't be any limit because of the wings. Also in January, there's Fearless Photog. And Terry also was able to get the chest emblem is going to be a lenticular. So that little guy on his chest is going to run as you kind of move him around. So we're still working on that. It'll look really neat. There's this camera gun that CB did. So he'll be the first of the 30th anniversaries. Also in January is the Star Sisters. Yeah! So you've seen them in our booth. They also come with Glory Bird and Tall Star has extra parts that you can put into her legs, her arm, and her neck to simulate the original action feature, the growing feature. And I believe, I haven't fully confirmed it with Terry, but if you were hypothetically to buy multiple Star Sister packs, you could stack up multiple tall star pieces to really make her long and long legs and long neck. So I believe it's going to be a universal piece. He's still working on that, but that's the goal. In February, the lone February figure. He still has the ab articulation, but the chest armor covers it, correct?
Yeah, I mean, basically on this guy, it was tough to do anything where we cut the armor short. So it's just a decision here to maintain the look of the original. And I'm not sure if it's going to be made in ABS or PVC. If it's in PVC, you'll still be able to get a certain amount. Even if it's in a hard plastic, you can get a backwards bend on it. It's just a matter of how much you'll get as a forward.
So he'll come with the purple Triclops sword, and he'll come with, there's the back handle. He will come with an alternate head that includes the headpiece that was in 2000X, but it's the same face. It's not a 2000X face. It's a 2000X armor piece on the vintage head. And it will come with that sword we've been waiting to release since 2003. And it'll be packed out similar to Grizzlor with the belt off and the original head. So those of you who want to have him posed and packaged like the vintage, that's how he'll be packed out. In March will be Cobra Khan. He'll have his gun. He'll have his alternate head with the fins, not fins, flap out, hood out, Cobra hood. And he'll have his little buddy. Have we come up with a name for him yet? I don't know. Khan Jr. All right. Kobe? There we go. We just named him. All right. Named after basketball. All right. March 2012. You're going to get Drago Man. Now, originally, yes, we did show him with quite a few accessories, but we found when we tooled him, there's so much plastic in both the wings and the tail, and so much deco that we had to scale him down a little bit. So he's only going to have the flaming sword, which is actually not shown here, but it's in the booth. We are going to try to find a way to have the flaming whip and the shield with some future figure. We haven't figured that out yet, but we want to do it right as the Horseman designed. We couldn't afford it. It wasn't going to work. But this is what happens when you design any figure you want. You give me this giant guy with huge wings that we can't afford. So that's why he'll have a few less accessories. But we're going to do it right. We'll find a way to release those down the road. Also in March is Thunder Punch Man. So he'll have that punching effect, it's a snap-on effect. He'll have a brand new closed fist hand. He will have the shield that will have the cap, if you will. It's not a working cap, but it looks like a cap, and it will come out of the shield, and then you can plug it into the backpack, correct? Yes.
Yes. The backpack is hinged exactly the same as the
Well, it is not actually a cap.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you
Simulated
can,
cap.
But you can use it like as a discus or something and throw it. Box someone over the head with it. Cool. And we are, I believe, going to back metalize the shield. I think Terry's looking into that. Not confirmed, but he's working on it. All right, the subscription figure, Shadow Weaver there. The wand, the book, and the stand to simulate the floating effect. Anything you want to say on Shadow Weaver?
I'm a big fan of Shadow Weaver.
I actually meant Karen. Don't blame me.
I mean, there's not too much to say. We were just thrilled to finally get to her. She's a great character, so long overdue.
Long overdue, essential. We're really glad we got that Classic Media decided to license these guys out finally. Yeah, we were like, well, we'll take the license for that. All right. The subscription map is Preternia, so that will ship only for subscribers, just like Shadow Weaver in the box, just like the previous two maps, with a new bio on the back, filling in some more of the lore. In April, you'll get Stinkor. I know that there's more of him in the booth than there is pictures here, but the tanks are removable. He has swappable heads, so he has the merman head, just like the vintage figure, and then a more Stinkor-esque head.
Does he smell?
He will smell, yes.
Yes!
He will smell. The way we do that is he's going to smell like patchouli, just like the original. What they do, the process is they mix the patchouli scent with the plastic when it's in liquid form. That's the same way we did Mossman. So yes, he will smell. He'll have the shield, he'll have the gun, he'll have a removable gas mask, and then the little dial that you see there on his, like I guess by his neck, that little piece is removable, similar to Bo, and it's swappable, so you can have either the, I guess the dial or just the red dot, like the vintage figure. So that's, you'll see that in the booth. You'll see those two little pieces. That's what those are. They're swappable. So you could display them either way. All right. Next is the Griffin. That is a $30 piece. And Eric, you want to talk about the wings a little bit on this one? With the
Yeah.
color.
As soon as the convention's over, we're taking this back and changing the wing color on this. We've been checking the forums. There's been a lot of requests to make the wing color more integrated with the rest of the figure. So we've been looking at some Photoshop manipulations that fans have been doing on the boards. And luckily the timing's been good on this, where we can actually go back and do some revisions. So by the end of the week, this guy should have a brand new paint job.
There you go. Failed comments in action. As soon as we have an image, we'll share it. Probably on Maddie Collectibles, the news story. All right, who's next? Non-club. Oh, the stands, right? Yes, the Snake Mountain stands will go on sale in April. So that'll be very similar to the Gray Skull stands that we did 2 years ago. 5 in a pack. That little stalagmite or stalactite, which is the one?
Stalagmite.
Removable, so you can move that around, just like the Gray Skull. All right. In May, we got Slush Head. And I believe the way Terry is putting them together is that the headpiece, you can fill it with water, I guess upside down, and then put them in, and then turn them right side up, and the water will stay. So if you want to add water yourself, you can have water in that bubble. I think the vintage figure did have water, so we couldn't ship them with water for CPI reasons, but you can add water yourself. Water not included, yes. We're not shipping you Chinese water. I can just see them like at the tap in China back there. All right, from the Yangtze River. Okay. Mighty Spectre, the next club attorney on my contribution in line. He does have the whip and the knife that they literally just finished the other day. That's on display in the booth. So the whip's not in the picture here, but the whip or the knife snap into the little cosmic key device. He's the heroic master of time travel. He's kind of like the time-traveling super spy that helps out the royal family. You'll learn more in his bio. All right. Throughout 2012, as shown at PowerCon, is the Temple of Darkness Sorceress. So she will be available at all regional U.S. shows, including, ideally, if we're at New York Comic Con next year. I can't imagine we won't be. She'll be on sale here, as well as any other. We don't know all the regional shows we're going to go to. We're also going to work with some of the German fan sites to get them some product to sell at the German conventions as well. But you will not be at San Diego Comic Con. So, but you're here in New York, so you can. Yeah.
We want our own stuff.
So, and she'll come with the orb holder. She will not come with the orb. The orb came with King Grayskull. I know people were asking if she could also come with the orb, but kind of the whole point was to reward fans who bought King Grayskull and have this marble on their desk. You now have a place to put it. All right. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's what there it is. It came up. Yeah, so there's the orb and the orb holder. All right, June. Presentation's over. June 2012. The next figure, our next A-list variant, Snake Man at Arms. So he's the one that comes with that serpent training. Now, we very deliberately did. We're going to do him in a paint scheme. The paint is actually not finished on this figure, but we're going to paint him up in 2000X colors, so that if you wanted to swap the heads with the original Man at Arms, now you have a 2000X colored. That was your intention, right? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it just makes this guy even a little more special. So, if, you know, say you're not necessarily that interested in the snake version of this guy, but you want a 2002 version, then there you go. We'll head swap and you're set.
Yep. That's why we made the heads removable from day one, anticipating stuff like this.
Just another little note. One thing that's been upgraded here is for PowerCon, we just did a quick mock-up of the snake ring, and this is actually the final version of the snake ring. The first one, it was just a smooth piece of clay around the ring, just so we could do a little teaser. But this is the final one with all kinds of little scale detail, and that's what it's on.
And I think we're looking at possibly doing it in die cast. So I don't know. We're still looking into the cost, but we want to try to plus them up a little. So nope, it's not before the rumors start. So we're working again. It's something Terry's looking into, and we're going to cost it out. But we want to see if we can make that ring a little special. All right, this one I'm really excited about. The June monthly figure. Ready?
Whoa.
Who is that? But you never actually saw him. Now, you want to talk about that helmet a little bit?
Well, we did see his face at the other episode.
You can have one moment. Let's talk about the helmet first.
So, oh man, this guy, there's so much to this figure, but the approach that we ended up taking with this, because there's been little glimpses of the character, there's the UK comics version of the character. I'm sure that every fan has his or her own idea of what the character looks like. So we tried to take as much into consideration as we could here. Essentially what we did is we looked at that smoky image that you could see on the screen, and we tried to take the shapes that were going on. I mean, of course, Ford Prime in the cartoon was probably, you know, a 50-foot tall monolith. But we try to take some of those shapes and those designs and that color scheme and take it and apply it to a Masters Classics figure. And so you're seeing the figure fully helmeted up here. The helmet is removable.
Let's take a look at what it looks like without his helmet, shall we? Everyone want to finally see Horde Prime?
Yes.
You will not see his face until you buy the toy.
That is really
And I'm going to be taking that out of the samples that we mail out.
wow.
It is a secret head accessory. But he will come with a second head, which we'll show you. So we are going to include the comic head from the UK comics. But his more traditional head is still under wraps. And he'll have swappable hands there. And
yeah, this time the crossbow is actually a hand attachment as opposed to a handheld weapon. Other than that, we just tried to make a really imposing looking Supreme Overlord for the board.
so there you go. There's Horde Prime. Alright, a couple other quick updates before we get to Q&A. For those of you who don't know about the Create a Character contest, this is a new contest going on right now through December 31st. For U.S. residents only due to legal restrictions. The complete rules are on Matty Collector. All entries do remain property of Mattel. So if you have a character you designed as a kid and you want to do him as a comic book or a movie one day, don't send him to us because we're going to own him. Entries are only on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Anything else is disqualified. But any medium is okay. Crayons, CGI, you can actually make models, but they have to be on a piece of paper. You don't send in an actual model, no exceptions. The rules, you must use basic shared parts. We're looking for a 6-inch figure, not a beast or a giant. New heads, capes, weapons, gloves, anything is cool. No 100% sculpt. So we're not looking for like a Ram Man or a Rock-On or those kind of figures. It's got to be somebody who uses basic parts. It must be an original creation, so don't send in Batman or Spider-Man. It must feel like a MOTU character. So the judges, when they're looking at these, they want to look at a figure that feels like he works into the MOTU world. Must easily translate into a toy. Don't send us something that's got all these crazy wires and weird articulation that would just take so much, crazy logistics to work. Mattel does retain the rights to choose the final name and bio, but we're obviously going to consult the winner and hopefully use their name and any bio ideas. But if we have to alter it, we will. You can enter as many times as you like. They will be judged by a cross-functional members of the MOTU team. Mary and I believe, are both judges, as well as 6 other individuals from the team. The winner will be announced at San Diego Comic-Con in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. The winning figure will be available, ideally on Natty Collector in December 2012 as the final figure in the 30th line. The winning fan will receive 24 samples of their figure and bragging rights. And the winner and 5 runner-ups will also receive a 1-year subscription to the 2013 line. Just some examples of what I mean by shared parts. When we're talking about robot legs and beast legs and lizard legs and female parts and jetpacks. You can use any parts from any character, but you can also create your own parts too. You don't just have to be restricted to existing parts. You just need to use basic shared parts in your design. All right, other events for 2012. We're going to have a huge San Diego Comic-Con costume contest. I know you'll be entering there. There's a lack of Masters of the Universe costumes here. I see, we have one awesome person in the audience, but looking around, we want to take over Comic-Con for the 30th. So we're going to have a huge costume contest with prizes, amazing prizes. Best, most elaborate, most original. I want to take back Comic-Con from Slave Leia. I want Battleground Tila all over the place. I want legions of females coming back. No more Slave Leia as the Comic-Con female. Extra points for anyone who comes to the 30th anniversary figure. And we will reveal more 30th anniversary figures before the show, so you can start working on your costumes now. We are going to do a 2013 Fans Choice figure with the slots announced at New York. I'm sorry, that should be San Diego Comic-Con. That's a misprint. It should be SDCC. Well, if it was New York, it'd be too late. You don't want it earlier in the year? You want us to wait for New York? There's going to be the slots that we're going to have. 6 of them are going to be picked by Mattel, and we're going to let 1 slot be picked by He-Man.org and 1 from He-Man.de in Germany. So that's the biggest U.S. and the biggest German He-Man fan sites. We are not going to load up the 6 slots with someone obvious. We're gonna be picking characters that fans have been asking for on the boards that aren't necessarily slotted in anytime soon, but people keep asking for. So we'll work with the webmasters of both of those sites and to come up with their submissions by about December, January, and then we'll add them in. We'll announce all 8 in San Diego, and everyone who buys a subscription for 2013 will be allowed to vote. You can only vote if you buy a subscription for 2013. You'll be given a code. So there you go. And there's going to be a slew of licensed merchandise from Classic Media. We are talking Halloween costumes, beach towels, art prints, DVDs, lots and lots of merchandise. Classic Media is going to be merchandising out in 2012. With more surprises at New York Toy Fair in February. We'll have a lot to announce as we get closer to 2012 for the 30th anniversary. And then a little sneak peek of the new title. All right. So that's it. There's New York Comic Con's Matty Palooza. So from here, we are, let's see, how are we doing on time? We're at, okay, we got about 20 minutes. So we're going to open up to Q&A. Maybe we'll try with hands up since it's a small room, otherwise we'll have people line up. But you know what? Yeah, it's going to be easier with hands up. So right over there. You won't have the armor on both sides, but we're going to look at including that armor in the Man at Arms colors and upcoming weapons.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Let me see what else I have on the schedule. Thank you.
Yes.
Have them looking straight forward. A lot of them are looking down. I mean, the Shira, the Adora, the Tila, they're all looking down.
Yeah, we're working on that. Terry's always looking into that, trying to fix the joints. Yeah, it's not intentional. We're always trying to fix it. Yeah, definitely not intentional. Question over on the side.
I have a question about the process. To find out whether you guys receive our entries.
Only if you do a tracking. We're getting thousands of entries, and we just don't have time to contact everyone. But if you do like a FedEx or whatever other tracking, then you'll know we got it. Yes.
You want He-Man Legos? What do we have to do?
That would be very cool. We've talked about that. Like Castle Grayskull or the Snake Mountain for vehicles. Yeah, it's something we've talked about.
You saw Harry Potter have Legos?
I've seen Harry Potter has Legos. Yes, personally, he has Legos. Yes.
The little buddy hero type guys.
There you go.
The ones we showed at Comic-Con? Yeah, the Masters Minis. Yeah, those were really cool. Some of the horsemen kind of just brought to Comic-Con. We know there's a lot of fan demand. The soonest you probably see those is 2013. We're just trying to find the right way to bring them out. But they're cool. We like them. Over there.
The Wind Raider looks absolutely amazing. I just wanted to know if you were going to do any other vehicles, like maybe an improvement on the attack tracks, make them look more filmation accurate.
We'd like to do more vehicles.
I've been working on my own design at home, basing it off pictures.
Well, you already have one then. Yeah, we would love to do more vehicles. We have to see how the Wind Raider sells. We have to see how the sub sells for 2013. But hopefully in time.
I got a question. I know that you're working on the Master of the Universe live action movie. When it will be? Are you still working on that?
Me personally? It's something in development with Sony Pictures. We have reviewed scripts. It's in development. There's no set release date, but yeah, it's definitely in development.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
Will he have the arm cannon like in the 2000X?
Oh, good question.
Yeah. No, we did it.
Please?
It's not. I mean, it's not in it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in the budget.
Yeah, we'd have to check.
Roboto style, interchangeable hands.
Right now he doesn't. Yeah, it was something we talked about because we definitely wanted to make sure he was plussed up a lot more than just a head. We'll keep looking into that. If it's in the budget, we'll look into that. Yes.
There was Lieutenant Spectre from the R2-pack and anything to do with your village.
Yes. He's the same character. It's basically the next. You'll find it more in the bio, but essentially it's the. I'll give you a little backstory so for those of you who are watching at home know what we're talking about. So when we did the Royal Guard 2-pack last January, the horsemen surprised me, and one of the guards' faces they sculpted as me, which I was very flattered. It was very flattering. And so the design group of packaging thought it would be a hoot if I named that character, and I had come up with a character when I was a kid named the Mighty Spectre, which never in a million years did I ever think was ever going to happen as a toy or anything. And I'd actually sent it into the vintage contest. I sent it into Marvel Comics. I drew up my own comic when I was like 15. But he's pretty much just been retired on my coffee table. So I thought it would be really fun just to name that character Lieutenant Spectre, just as a little nod. It was actually a name back when I was a copywriter on Hot Wheels, I previously used for a modified or robot character. Mattel does like to reuse copyrights for different lines simply because it saves money. So when the 30th anniversary line rolled around and management decided that they wanted current Mattel employees to contribute. Originally we had talked about maybe reaching out to some vintage employees, but that was nixed very early on by upper management. They were much more interested in us promoting current employees for obvious reasons. So both Terry Iguchi in design and myself, who've been on the line since day one, were each granted a slot. And I'm like, wow, I get to create a character. And the four of us who did characters, that was myself, the Horseman, Terry, and Jeff Johns is doing one. We kind of all had the choice of doing a brand new character that we created, or doing something from our childhood. I believe both you guys and Terry did new characters you created for the 30th. Jeff and myself, we took characters we created when we were kids. Since that was kind of, sort of in the vintage line, that was, people who submitted characters to the contest. I actually used the character I submitted to the contest. The one Jeff did was one, he sent me the crayon drawing he did when he was 7. And we'll have that on display at Comic-Con in San Diego. So I was like, you know what, this is my only chance to ever do this character, I'm gonna do him. So we were gonna introduce him into the MOTU mythos. And since we already had Lieutenant Spectre, which at the time, I never thought I was gonna get to do the Mighty Spectre, but it really made no sense to have 2 Spectres in the line. So for the bio, working with Mary's team and the design group decided, well, we'll just make him the next iteration of that character. So he gets a suit, he gets other powers, he is a royal guard, but he evolves into this other character. So You'll find out more in the bio, but there's a little bit more information than you asked for, but hopefully that clears it up, and you'll learn more about it.
That's one follow-up question. Is there any way that we can get that head without the helmet, so we can put it in?
Oh, like the royal, yeah, the question is, can you get the Royal Guard face without the helmet?
Yes, just with like.
Like you want my face on that character? I'm actually really glad that the Royal Guard has a faceplate, so you don't have to stare at my face and you're lighted. My mother doesn't think it looks like me. No offense. I think it does. My mother's very critical. She's a Jewish mother, what can I say? There's no plans to do an alternate head on him, but maybe you could customize the Royal Guard head and like scoop off the helmet and put on some hair or something. Maybe one day. Maybe, you know what? Well, the whole line in 2013 is going to be Spectre. We're going to do Smash Blade Spectre, Ice Armor Spectre, and Power Armor Spectre. So there'll be alternate heads. It'll be great. There'll be She-Ra and Spectre Armor. Just kidding. Okay, that's it. Yes, you.
Oh, two quick ones. With Slushhead, his gun, can you flip it and hold it like an axe, like the old toy line could?
Yes.
Awesome. And with Thinkor, how potent is he gonna smell? Girlfriend said if he smells really bad, I can't get him.
When we did Mossman, we actually had the factory do 6 different versions and different smells, and we lined them up. And TC Chen, Terry, and I basically got around a table and we took turns smelling them. And we're like, it was like the 3 bears. This one is too smelly. This one is not smelly enough. We wound up, I think, going with the one that was like 20% smell. We had like 20, 30, 40, and 90%. So, we're not going to make it so overwhelmingly stinky that, it does smell up. But we'll make sure it doesn't fade. So, yeah, it'll be hopefully just right, like Goldilocks. Yes.
I actually have one of my friends here with me. And,
good for you.
I know. No, the significance of it is we've been working on the contest, and he actually got into Masters of the Universe through helping me work on the contest. So I guess my question is twofold. He wants to know, one, I was explaining to him how the figures always sold out every month and how he's able to hopefully fill holes in his collection now that he's sort of getting into it late in the game. And secondly, it's sort of taken on a life of its own. I know 2 friends of mine, him included, that are getting into the line. It's a really neat thing to do, and I'm just wondering, can we build on it annually? Like, seeing 1 or 2 new characters a year actually would be really neat. And
like do new creative characters every year?
Or take maybe some of the finalists that really stuck out and was a hard choice for you that you think would still be a great fit. Anything would be great.
It's definitely possible. We don't have the 2013 and 14 locked in at this point. We do want to keep it special for the 30th. You don't want to, do the special thing every year because then it doesn't feel as special. We'll see. There's definitely we'll see what fan demand is and what the people are saying on the boards and go from there. Look at here and then I'll go.
Will we get a re-release of the original Tila?
Likely, yes. Very likely.
What time?
Yes.
Will we get a re-release of Triclops?
Yes.
Yes.
There will definitely be a re-release. In fact, I think they actually have them here on the show. Yeah. So, yes, for those of you at New York Comic Con, it was because we actually sent them Triclops last year to sell, and they didn't sell out. So they've been holding on to it, and I actually didn't even know they were going to have it here. But they're selling it, I think they're even selling it for undercutting us. I think they're selling it for $15. So hey, cheap Triclops at New York Comic Con. It's a party. All right, yes.
What do you think you guys making a replica hoverboard for Back to the Future line?
Sorry, are we making a replica?
Like a regular 1/1 scale of plastic.
Robin, you want to come up and talk about the hoverboard? This is Robin, who's the Matty Collector brand manager and also works on Back to the Future.
Hi everyone. So
Robin also does all the fan mailing, so for those of you getting product, she's the one to thank.
it's my name on the shipper there. So for Back to the Future, we're looking into possibly prop replicas. We're gonna kind of test the market and see how popular they could be with the fans. So expect some Back to the Future news coming up in the next few months. Yeah.
You won't have to wait till 2015. Yes.
I have one question, I'm sorry, now MOTU or Back to the Future related. Are we ever going to get an Ecto-1 from for the Ghostbuster line? That would be awesome.
We would love to do an Ecto one. That would be just an awesome item for us to do. I'd be really excited to see that myself. But it's very tool intensive, and so it would probably take the next movie for us to be able to develop that kind of item. So hopefully, Bill Murray signs on to.
Back there in the hat.
Are we gonna see reprints of the original mini comics or the comics that were in the magazine, or even the new mini comics sold separately from the figures?
The question, I keep beginning to restate the questions. The question is reprints of the mini comics. Also something we're looking into. Yeah. The problem is we don't really have the art. We have a little bit of it, and I mean like 3 pages of one mini comic. So it's something we'd love to do. It just depends on time and resources. Yeah, agree?
What are the odds that if some of these higher scale Master Universe figures continue to do well, that we might someday in the future get what we all probably are waiting for, would be Castle Grayskull?
Oh, yeah. That's probably also going to be something like a movie. Much like the Ecto 1, doing something like that is going to, it takes more than just the hardcore collectors to do something that expensive.
Don't pay up to $300 for it, I'll tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, that's how much you'll be paying.
I mean, and I can't speak for obviously everyone in this room or people that collect it, but I mean, it's such a centerpiece to something that has just been so incredible. I think that everything that you guys have done, even with the DC figures, I mean, you looked at DC Direct, what DC Direct does, and I go, well, that's nice, and then I see this stuff, and I'm more blown away by this stuff with the DC than I am with, say, the DC Direct, or with the Mattel stuff, and then the same with Master Universe. Like, it can't get better than what I had as a kid. It can't get better than 2002. Well, clearly I'm wrong. So, I would love that, just as a fan speaking, to have that centerpiece. My wife might not want it there, but
Yeah, I don't think mine would either. Yeah, we all want to do it. Mary wants to do it. Yeah, it's the tooling. It's so expensive, and it's if and when hopefully there's a live action movie, it'll generate enough non-hardcore collector buzz. So it's much like the Ecto 1, that it's back with mainstream, etc. That we'll be able to do, because it's something like, if there was a movie year, potentially we could take classics to retail. Maybe that's one of the reasons we do extra heads and extra accessories, with the idea that we always hypothesize that if we could take it to retail, we would scale them back. So the character would have like one head and one accessory. But when you do a retail line, you have to do what's called a planogram, meaning you have to have something on the pegs, something on the shelf, and something on the bottom shelf. You can't just have one single item to get Target and Walmart and Toys R Us to take it. So Castle Grayskull would be an ideal, what they call a bottom shelf big box item, especially for like a fall holiday item. So we'd love to do it. It would probably take a movie year to get retail on board, to do the minimum number of units. No one doesn't want to do it. We're not sitting around going, how can we not do Castle Grayskull? Those conversations don't happen in the back.
So are you saying like Castle Grayskull would be a retail item or would it be a value collector item? Because I can't imagine people at retail being $300 for it where, that collector would be, so I'm wondering where that should live.
It could be both. It could be like a scaled down. I mean, this is we're talking hypothetical world here. So I mean, I don't know. The short answer is I don't know. If a hypothetical answer might be the one at retail might be scaled down and more kid friendly, and then the one on Matty Collector might be plussed up with better paint, more accessories. Maybe it comes with more, the original torture rack or something like that cut from the original toy. So maybe we would look at doing something like that, but we could use the retail line again in a hypothetical world. Because I know people are going to start quoting me online. Toy Guru said we're getting Castle Grayskull, it's only going to retail. It's going to be a He-Man.org exclusive. It could be something where we could use the retail line to pay for the tooling, and then also sell a plussed up version on Matty for you guys. So, maybe. Yes?
Can you talk more about the fan choice thing, just in whatever you can say? Like are the sites going to decide their own figure, or would you give them like a list and then have them pick?
Oh, sure. So basically, it can't be 100% tool figure, but other than that, anybody you want. You want your Illumina, you want your, new version of 2000X Evil Lynn, you want You know, mini comic trap jaw. You want who's that?
In other words, no Red Man.
Well, not for this slot. We could, you know, yeah, because we can't because that would take a lot more tooling allocated. But yeah, we wanted to let, you know, the fan sites, you know, we know you guys wanted a fan's choice for a long time. And the reason we haven't been able to do it is because it takes almost a 2-year ramp up. So that's why the fan's choice is going to be the end of 2013 is when that figure is going to come out. But that we want to start the process now. So yeah, we'll reach out to the moderators of the sites and we'll work out a timeline. But we want to get everyone thinking because I know you guys are probably posting right now. I'm sure it's, you know, people are. But yeah, basically no 100% tooled figures for the slot. But otherwise, you know, we'll pick 6 and the 2 sites will pick 1. We'll put 8 up and the subscribers will get to choose.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now that we have a sorceress, are there any possibilities to get the 2000X example of one?
Oh yeah, I mean, yes.
Okay.
We're definitely looking at doing, you know, it won't be like in the, I know Mark hates that hyper anime word. I wish I could come up with the McFarlane-esque extra detail that was that style. But we could do a classics version of her in the green kind of thing. You know, like Randor, the same thing. Anyone who wore a different outfit or had a different look, we'd look at doing. Over here.
You guys ever plan to do like the 87 Masters of the Universe movie, like style characters or just any characters from the movie?
That one we can't. We can only do the 3 characters that were in the vintage line, which was Wildor, Sorod, and Blade.
No Wildor.
Wildor?
No, Wildor.
Alright, so no Wildor.
$6 shot.
I'll take it.
Yeah, basically.
Rough in here.
It's not available in license. The opportunity wasn't. We presented the opportunity and it wasn't big enough.
Blade is fine. Do a Blade.
Yeah, we can do a Blade. We can do Blade. We can do Blade, Gwildor, and Sauron. And that's pretty much. No, yeah. And no, we're not going to do from Back to the Future and then do Lupic and like mix them up. Yeah, that's not happening either. I know he was there. Slackers. Yes.
I have a question. It's a 2-part question. One more leading towards another. For the Horsemen, you have found ways to use the Battle Cat buck very well, and it's ingenious how you use it on Griffin. But let's say, do you think you can pull the same trick twice, giving it to, let's say, Strider Night Stalker? If you were to do that, do you think you would have the capabilities of creating something we seen using something like that? It's not something for now, it could be something for 2016 for that matter. But do you think you could be inventive enough? And here's my second thing. Why wouldn't you guys at least do a mock-up or / prototype of Flock Panther? That's something I've been kind of tittering on because I love the sculpt, yes, and I know that Cornboy wouldn't want it to have a flock, but how about you guys at least try to flock one just for pictures?
Alright, the Stridor Night Stalker part, I mean the nice part about that is you do already have one built in, but you can go straight from Stridor to Night Stalker or vice versa. As far as turning it into something that you've seen before, off the top of my head, I don't know, maybe Sagittar or something like that. But potentially creating something brand new, I mean, we could certainly set it up to do something like that. With the Battle Cat, we knew from the beginning that we were eventually going to do that Griffin. And so we've had that in mind for a long time. And then same thing, when we got to Swiftwind, we knew that those wings were going to go to the Griffin. So having that in mind from the beginning, you don't make any mistakes where we may do something with that wing where it wouldn't be usable on the body, or you know, set up that Battle Cat where you couldn't turn it into the Griffin later on. But yeah, like I said, with the Night Stalker, off the top of my head, maybe Sagittar, if I'm thinking of what it looks like correctly. But
I think they pretty much all, like, that would be 100% tool, but we could get 2 figures out of it.
Right. But yeah, I mean, we could, if we were just up to our own devices and could create anything brand new, sure, we could do some cool Centaur or whatever.
You said, yeah, like a mix and match kind of like zombie kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, if there's an opportunity to do it, we'll certainly give it a shot.
The Flock Panther?
Oh, the Flock Panther.
Are you asking like why we haven't shown one?
Yep. Would you make one? Would you be interested in having one? Maybe as a New York Comic Con exclusive 2013?
I mean, we know there's gonna be, we'll probably get to, we've got the tool. We'll probably flock Panther originally. I mean, we didn't flock him because fans voted they didn't want him flocked. And also, CB was very adamant he really didn't want it flocked because he felt the 2002 one covered up all of the awesome detail.
I agree. I agreed with that decision, but I would like to get to one just for the nostalgic, the nostalgic reasons of it.
It's an easy read.
I think the toughest part with it though is after what was encountered with Mossman is it is a super articulated figure and there's a lot of rub in the joints. And with Mossman it worked out okay where there was the unflocked areas. We take some experimentation on Panther. It's a finer flock, so it might not be as much of a problem, but that's just something we would have to all look into. But if it could be done, it would be great to come back to it someday. So nobody's against it.
I can't imagine we wouldn't do it eventually, but it's the original toy was a slug. You have to remember that, it was a slug figure. It was a non-articulated cat, so it's really you just dipped it in the glue and dipped it in the flock. It's a lot. It's really hard to flock articulated figures. So maybe one day.
Can we expect a flight stand for the Griffin or Swiftwind, and by extension for the flying figures? Because you had those awesome flight stands.
Yeah, we're looking into a flight stand 2.0, probably for 13.
One thing though, I don't remember if it's been mentioned or not before, but along those same lines, the flight stand that's with the Wind Raider is, again, we thought to make sure that it was set up for this ahead of time. Say if we get to Battle Ram and there's the front part of it, it'll be able to pop on to that or any flying vehicle that we do in the future. So I'm sure any of so we always try to think ahead on that sort of thing. Would be cool to do the one for the Griffin.
That would be cool. And I know we've heard a lot of feedback that people want to talk flight stand, so we're looking at a 2.0. Yes.
Could there possibly be a release of Cinderella?
Yes. It's definitely a possibility, just like every vintage figure. Yes.
Since you guys have the filmation rights and you also have a split flip flop, has it been considered to make the Dark Rider at all?
Pretty much, every filmation character is under consideration.
And since they're not as well known, say like He-Man and Battle Cat, coming out with Mattel, would it be considered maybe doing those two together, just like the Rider and the Speed, since they're not as, not
It's possible, this has to be the last question, guys. They just told us time's up. But we'll be back up in the booth, so you can come talk. To answer, the nice things about MattyCollector.com is that we're not restricted by retail. The reason that beast in oversized slot, we have one at 60 and one at 40 and one at 30. We can do that. We can kind of do whatever is necessary to make the toy the best it can be. So yes, we're free to make the toys work, which is why we love Matty Collector. We love your guys' support. Thank you guys so much.